Good morning, my darlings. It feels like a little while since I started the video fresh-faced, but I think what I'm going to do this morning is kind of run through my morning routine. It's not changed dramatically, but I have switched in a few products, and I thought it'd be nice to just go through my 2021 morning routine. So at the moment, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not really setting an alarm, so I'm just seeing how much sleep my body needs and waking up naturally at about 7:30. And anyone that knows me will know that that is really, really late for me. I find that I wake up earlier the more I have to do, and at the moment obviously we're in lockdown and it is my quietest time of year work-wise, so I'm just not motivated to get myself up and out of bed any sooner. So I wake up, I use a micellar water on my skin, just a quick micellar water, just to clean the skin. I'll go downstairs, have a big glass of water, and my little rule that I say to myself is always hydrate before you caffeinate. So I always like to drink a big glass of water, take my vitamins before sitting down with a coffee, and that's the time where I just relax with the dogs, chill out, check over any emails, and then I will usually go upstairs, do my Peloton, hop in the shower, and that is where we are now. So at this point, I'm fresh out the shower, and the skin on my face is in need of some goodness. So something that I want to get in the habit of a lot more this year is using vitamin C. And I did do it last year, but not as regularly. I want to make sure I'm doing it every single day. It's so good for the brightness of your skin. These ones are the Super C capsules from Oskia. I also absolutely love the vitamin C capsules from Elizabeth Arden. Something that I learned in a Zoom last year is that vitamin C is quite a selfish little molecule. It likes to be the first ingredient that goes on your skin, and it also likes to be the only thing on your skin for a little while. So that's why I do it first, and then I crack on with body bits just to give... Ooh, my phone's ringing. Now I can't remember what I was saying. Yeah, so vitamin C is the first thing I pop on my skin. I let it stay on my skin for a little while, helps with overall brightness of my skin, feels really, really nice as well, and it also just has the most lovely smell. So I like to just put it in my hands, inhale, and then press it on my face. And I love the ones which are in the capsules, because then you know that you're getting the right amount, and also it's in its highest level of potency. So while this is on my skin, that is when I do my body bits. And as you may know, I have been using for nearly a year now my KENZZI IPL laser hair removal, and it has been the best thing, absolutely the best thing. And you may think that hair removal should not be a top priority at this time of year, but actually I think that if you are doing laser, then this is the perfect time of year to do it, because you can get yourself, especially if you're just starting, you can get yourself on the road to being hair-free, ready for summer and ready for when we're allowed to travel again. So I have been working with KENZZI since last March, I think it was. Absolutely love them. Couldn't rate the device any further anymore. I absolutely love it. I do have my discount code again, which I'll pop on the screen here. I'll leave it in the description box down below. So while my vitamin C is working its magic, I'm gonna go and do my zapping. It takes me 30 seconds to do it. It is so quick and easy, and I will remind you why I love it and highly recommend it so much. I left the camera rolling and it's only gone an extra 2 minutes since I went out the room, and in that time I've plugged it in, I've zapped myself, and I am done. It is so quick and easy. It's had a little upgrade. It now lives in this little Dior box. Oh my goodness, my camera battery's about to die. Oh my goodness, so many distractions this morning. Phone call, battery running out, and now Charlie has decided that he needs to shave in the bathroom. So, third or fourth time lucky, I've come to my peaceful little corner in the pink bedroom, which actually, I need to come in this bedroom more. It is so just lovely in here. It really does have such a nice vibe. I might turn this temporarily into like a little bit of a meditation room. I don't know, maybe I should bring my fitness mat in here and do my morning stretches and yoga in here. that's another thing. Haven't even got to that part of my morning routine yet. So what I was about to tell you about was my KENZZI, which I have now popped in this box because I basically rearranged my bedside table, and the drawer that this used to be in now has my jewellery in. When you first get your KENZZI, in the box you will get obviously the actual IPL device. It looks like this. Very nifty, kind of very satisfying round pebble shape. There's no complication to this whatsoever, literally an on button, and then you press this button to do your zapping. You have an extra long wire that comes in your box. It does come with a US plug, that's something to remember. So if, like me, you live in the UK or anywhere that doesn't have this kind of plug, you might want to get yourself an adapter. As I did last time, I will leave this adapter linked in the description box down below. It's basically a US to UK plug. This wire is really, really, really long. So if you want to do this at your dressing table or at a mirror, then you don't need to be super close to a plug, because yeah, it is a really, really long wire, which has come in very handy indeed. And it also comes with an instruction manual. However, it's so easy to use, a quick flick through and you will be ready to go. So if you haven't tried IPL laser hair removal before, let me quickly run through why I love it, why I think it is fantastic. The number one thing for me is the long lastingness of it. The fact that if you start now, you can be hair free by summer. In fact, you can be hair free before the end of lockdown probably, or at least you can be hair free in the areas that you want to be by spring, which is fantastic. So this is a more permanent method of hair removal. Obviously, if you are shaving your underarms or any other area, then it can grow back in, well, sometimes for me it would actually grow back by the evening if I've shaved in the morning, which is not ideal. Waxing can last a couple of weeks, epilating can last a couple of weeks. Let's be honest, those two methods of hair removal are seriously painful. Oh my goodness. First time I epilated, I thought I was actually, sorry this is gross, but I thought I was pulling the skin off my legs. It was so awful. I did go through a couple of years of waxing and I would get it done professionally. It was just a little bit awkward, just having to go to a salon, strip it all off. The whole thing was just not enjoyable. The results were great straight afterwards, but then another thing with waxing is, and epilating, there has to be enough hair, probably not that long, there has to be enough hair for the wax or the tweezers within the epilator to actually grab hold of. So you have to have at least a week or 2 weeks of growth before you can remove the hair, whereas if you use something like this, then you can be hair free all the time, because you have to be freshly shaved before you do your IPL, which basically means you're literally always hair free until you're permanently hair free. So that's amazing. You can do this in the comfort of your own home. Obviously right now here in the UK with our current lockdown, all the beauty salons sadly are shut. That was one of the things that made me want to try this to begin with, because I think I told you last year that when KENZZI first reached out to me, I was like, oh well, I'm actually having professional laser done in a salon. However, seeing as we're going into lockdown, maybe it'll be great to just kind of keep me run over while I'm at home, so that everything that I've done in the salon doesn't go to waste, because you do have to go through a bit of a process before the hair removal is permanent. But now I'm like, why would I go back to the salon? Because this is so easy to do at home. You plug it in, you turn it on, click, 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 you're done, click, 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 you're done. Incredible. So that's where it fits into my morning routine. After my shower, freshly shaved, before I've put on any body lotion, that's when I will do this. But because you can just keep it in a box or in your bedside drawer, you can just do it straight after your shower. It literally takes less than 5 minutes out of your routine, instead of having to go to a brightly lit salon with someone you've never met before, taking all your clothes off. It's just so much more convenient to do at home. And let's be honest, at the moment, for most of us, it's our only option is to do it at home. And then on top of that, there is the price factor. I've said before that I think the total cost of my KENZZI is the cost of one professional salon treatment. So in London, getting laser hair removal done professionally is quite expensive. So if you go for a whole series of laser hair removal sessions, that is going to cost you a lot of money, whereas this is a one-off purchase. It's yours to keep. If you decide, oh my goodness, I have loved the results so much, I'm going to do a different area of my body, then it's yours. It's in your drawer. You can just whop it out and do whatever you like with it. I do often get a lot of questions on the areas that it is suitable for. So I personally don't use this on my face because I don't really have any hair on my face that I want to get rid of, but you can do, it's perfectly safe to do that. Personally, I use it on my bikini and on my underarms. Personally, I do not use this on my legs because the way that this works, obviously I'm not a scientist, so this is just how I explain that it works. It kind of zaps the root ball of your hair, and the root of your hair, if it's zapped a few different times, and obviously this doesn't work from just a one-off, you have to keep at it, eventually the root ball decides that it's not going to grow hair anymore, so it just kind of dies away. However, in order for the light to get from the surface of your skin into the root ball, it has to travel through the hair follicle. That's why it's best if you shave, because then you're just like cutting at the top of the hair off, and then there is still that little bit of hair underneath the skin which this can travel down through to get to the root, and eventually that root just decides to give up and not produce hair anymore. Right, so why does that mean I can't use it or don't use it on my legs? Basically, there needs to be a quite big contrast between the colour of your skin and the colour of your hair. So the ideal candidate for a device like this is someone who has fair skin and dark hair. That would be like the absolute pinnacle. That doesn't mean if you've got darker coloured skin that you can't use this, but for me personally, because the hair on my legs is lighter, it's very fine. It's just not the best method of hair removal for me on that area. So I still use my razor on my legs, but I do use this on my underarms and on my bikini. I'll leave the page on the KENZZI website linked down below where you can see if you are compatible. You can check a chart and see your skin colour versus your hair colour and make sure that this is perfect for you and it's going to work really, really well for you before you make the investment. So as for me, within my routine, my journey, I have been doing this since about March, April last year. To begin with, I used it every other weekend. I would just put a little reminder in my diary to do this every other weekend. I would do it every other Sunday, shave everywhere, and then I would just click, 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 2 minutes and we're done. There would just never be any hair there, which is ideal in summer because before using this, I would basically have to shave under my arms every day or every other day if I was going to be wearing nice strapless tops, which is just a bit of a pain. And that's why it's so good to start doing this now at this time of year where it's frosty outside. We are covered up. We don't need to be wearing too much fake tan, because that's another thing. It's not ideal to do this if you have got fake tan on the areas that you want to zap. So that's another reason why I will do this on a Sunday morning, because then I have had my full pamper, I've exfoliated, I've got rid of any remnants of tan, and then if I do want to tan, I can pop it on Sunday evening, for example, after I have done this. So then the fake tan has a full week in which to fade away, because again, you're trying to keep the colour of your skin and the hair as big a contrast in that colour as possible. So as a general rule, do not fake tan the areas that you want to do this on. Other than that, that's the only rule really. I'm trying to think what other questions I frequently get asked about this. I get so many messages from you guys saying you have picked this up upon my recommendation and you're like, Josie, why did I not do this sooner? That is literally the only thing that you will ever regret with this, is not doing it sooner, because it's just one of those things that's so easy and the results are so good that you just wonder why everyone doesn't do it. And that's why I really love working with KENZZI and why I continue to work with them, because it's one of those things that's like, why doesn't everyone do this? Yes, I think that's everything I have to say about that. Any questions? If you've got any, I'm very happy to answer them down in the comments section below. Oh, something that I always get asked is, does it hurt? For me, it does not hurt at all. What you can do with this is you can actually increase or decrease the power. So it's got these little lights on it. One light is the kind of beginner session. You might want to start on that. I'm all the way up to level 5 now, and I still don't find it uncomfortable in the slightest. I've heard some people say, some friends that have got darker hair, they've said that it feels like someone is pinging an elastic band against their skin, but I just don't really feel anything, so I would never say it's painful in the slightest. For some people they may feel something, I personally don't, but that is most definitely something to not worry about, especially in comparison to the pain, torture of waxing / epilating. So while I've been doing that, my serums have been sinking into my skin. In the summer, this is when now I would pop on a gradual tan or a fake tan, but I am giving myself a little bit of a rest at the moment. I did put on some fake tan for New Year's, and where I've been washing my hands, they are a little bit paler than the rest of my body. So I'm actually just going to spritz my hands with a little spray-on tan, and then let's continue with my facial beauty routine. Okay, after everything that I just said about not wanting to tan in January, I've changed my mind because I just feel better when I do have a little bit of colour, but I don't need to be super duper dark. So I thought I would just apply a little bit of this, which is the Bronzing Water Mist from Saint-Tropez. This is just super easy to do. So, oh, apparently it's got vitamin C and D in there. In fact, I think this might be the body version of the lovely little serum, which I do like to use as well. So it's their Purity Vitamins. So I've just misted this all over my body and then gone over with a mitt. And then something that I do like to use, and I use this a lot throughout December just because I wanted to keep a bit of colour, but I wanted the nourishingness of a body lotion. I used this, which is from the same range, I believe. Watermelon Infusion Gradual Tan Everyday Moisture Miracle Body Lotion, and that just gave me a really nice colour just to stop myself from getting so pale. I like to have just the tiniest little bit of colour, keep on top of it, but top it up after you have done your zapping. Okay, so I feel like the vitamin C has been infusing in my face for long enough. To be honest, I play around with my serums based on what I feel my skin needs, what I have done the day before. For example, if I've been out on a really cold and blusterous dog walk and my skin felt really dry, I might pop an oil on. My favourite oil at the moment is the Rose de May facial oil from Cuticle. Sometimes I pop that on at night as well. If I just on like a general everyday, what I will normally do is a little bit of a concoction. So the Elizabeth Arden hyaluronic acid capsules, this was one of my best beauty discoveries from last year. They were only launched last year, but again, they're a capsule, so you get the exact right amount of the product, and because it's encapsulated, it's got its highest potency. It's not been diluted by daylight or anything like that. So I squeeze this capsule into my hand, pop it in the bin, it will decompose, and pop this on my face. So the hyaluronic acid within this is a really, really, really small particle, which means it can get deeper into your skin and have a much better impact on your skin's hydration levels, plumping the skin, hydrating the skin. Everything that I do skincare wise has to have a reason. As much as I want it to feel lovely, I want my skincare to be doing something as well, and hyaluronic acid is one thing which is just proven to keep our skin looking youthful and juicy and bouncy, so I absolutely love it. And then because I'm in my late 20s, oh my god, I'm gonna be 30 this year. Wow. That's the first time I've actually thought about that. Not that 30 is old by any stretch whatsoever, but I am thinking about those early signs of aging. So I do have some firming products in my skincare routine. This is the Resveratrol Lift Instant Firming Serum from Caudalie. I absolutely love this, and it's basically helps the skin to boost its own collagen. So it's like a natural collagen booster. A vegan collagen booster. Just helps to keep the skin firm and youthful looking with no harsh ingredients whatsoever. Really, really lovely. So that's my little concoction of serums that I like to apply on a daily basis, and of course take them down your neck as well. And I also pop whatever's left on the back of my hands. There's a few different eye creams that I really like. This morning I'm going to use the Long Life Herb Eye Treatment. This is from Bare Minerals, this one here. I really like that this is more of a light kind of gel consistency. I used to use, like over a year ago, the La Mer Eye Concentrate, and I've noticed, oh, it's gone. Charlie was using it, but I found that it was just too heavy, and it actually made the bags under my eyes worse, because I think it was just too many ingredients in that area, whereas this one from Bare Minerals is really lovely and light. There's also a really nice one from the resveratrol range from Caudalie, which is great for more anti-aging in the eye area. I just kind of alternate between a few different favorites. And then I am currently going through 3 different facial moisturizers. I just like to have choice in the mornings, and sometimes you just gravitate towards one depending on your skin's needs. So if, for example, I just want a real silky, gorgeous texture, one that I have been using for so long, the Elemis Pro Collagen Marine Cream. I know this is just an absolute cult favorite. This is the massive version that was in partnership with the breast cancer charities. This is a cult product for a reason. It is probably one of my favorite skincare products of all time. Something which I started using because I unboxed this at Christmas and I thought it sounded gorgeous is the Abeille Royale Day Cream from Guerlain. So this is the newest one that I've added to my rota of moisturizers. I'm going to pop this one on today. It just feels really lovely and nourishing and calming for the skin. And I feel like it's frosty today, my skin might need that little added bit of protection and love that you get from the Abeille Royale range. And another favorite, again, from the Caudalie Resveratrol Lift range, the Firming Cashmere Cream. This is the best of both. You get that really gorgeous, it feels like an expensive, silky cream, but it's also anti-aging, but natural. You just can't go wrong with this. And this, I feel like this range is so well priced as well. I absolutely love Caudalie. You just can be sure that there are no nasty ingredients in any Caudalie products. I just find them all so soothing, so lovely. This is, I've just noticed, only got a 6-month lifespan. That is something to be aware of your products that you're using. So maybe don't do what I do and go through 3 moisturizers at a time. Just open one and use it up, because when you do lean towards skincare, which is a little bit more natural, it does tend to have a shorter shelf life. Whereas this one is 12 months, and Elemis is also 6 months. My goodness, that is a lot to get through in 6 months. Okay, so I have a little bit of a thing, and I don't know if it's just me being a bit silly, but I like to leave my products to sink in before piling other stuff on top. So at this point, while my moisturizer is sinking into my skin and my skin is enjoying all those gorgeous ingredients, this is when I'll go downstairs and make my morning smoothie.
Keep on walking straight to the hell we made. Why always a wall, babe, when we wanna come close?
And I'm back. Smoothie has been downed. I didn't want to run through my smoothie recipe this morning because I did it in a very recent vlog, so I'll leave that up on the screen here in case you want to know what's in my morning smoothie. It is already midday, oh my goodness, because I was doing editing before this and obviously running through my routine, everything takes so much longer. Normally it would be about 9 AM by the time I get this from my routine, but today is such a weird day. Let me show you. It's midday and it is still completely frosty and foggy outside. Can you see the cobwebs on the lantern outside the house? They've actually frosted and it looks like some kind of Halloween decoration. My goodness. I was so worried that this house would be absolutely freezing on mornings like this, but thankfully with the underfloor heating, it remains pretty toasty in here all the time, which is great. So now that I've had my morning smoothie, I feel much better. I was starting to get a little bit shaky. I'm gonna brush my teeth and then we will continue with the makeup that I like to do on a daily basis. Okay, this here is my little makeup station. I organized this over the Christmas break and it's just a very small edit of products that I'm really enjoying using right now. So what I'll normally do is take this mirror, which I got from ASOS, and pop it up here, because then I can do my makeup in complete natural daylight. I'll pop you guys right next to the mirror so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, first thing that I'm popping on my skin, this is a fairly new product to my routine. Maybe I'll pop you this side actually. And this is the Elizabeth Arden Flawless Start Hydrating Serum Primer. It looks really lovely, this very light pink little liquid. You've got a pipette, and this has got hyaluronic acid, and I believe this also has vitamins in there as well, so all great for the health of your skin. I don't usually love primers, but I love how my skin feels with this one. It definitely feels more like a serum. It feels more like skincare as opposed to makeup, which I guess makes sense because I do always think of Elizabeth Arden as more of a skincare brand. However, also new is their new Flawless Finish skincare foundation with hyaluronic acid, vitamin C and vitamin E. Here comes the postman. Hopefully he's not going to need a signature. So this is, I don't know what the terminology is, but like skincare makeup. So skincare within your makeup. So many distractions today. Yeah, this has got hyaluronic acid and the vitamins in there, and I just love to use makeup that has got skincare infused. Anything that I can be putting on my skin and that's good for my skin at the same time is a bonus. I also find this so lovely and blendable, allows my skin to glow through the makeup. I like to apply it with either a beauty blender sponge or a makeup brush. Just gonna use a makeup brush this morning, and I use a kind of stippling motion, especially on areas where I want a little bit more coverage. So on my skin, chin, so on my chin, a little bit more of a stippling, whereas on my cheeks, where I don't mind it spreading a little bit more thinly, I will brush it out a bit more. The shade that I use is 230N. They have got a really good shade selection with this. I'll leave it linked down below in the description box, but you can also use these websites, by the way. Obviously, most places selling makeup are closed at the moment, but there are some websites where you can pop in a perfect foundation shade. So say for example, I knew that in Guerlain Terracotta, I was the shade Natural. You could pop that into these websites and it will tell you what shade of this foundation you'll be. So I'll leave one of those kind of websites linked down below. Although this is very new, so I'm not sure if it'll be up on those websites yet, but I'm sure it won't be long. So I find 230N, which is neutral. I think they've got pinky toned ones, more kind of warm tone, cool tone. This is absolutely perfect for me. I don't have very much coverage on my cheeks or on my forehead, but on my T-zone I have blended it to be a little bit more. Not something that I do every single day, but because I might do a little bit of filming later, I'm gonna pop on some under eye concealer, and this is the Magic Away concealer from Charlotte Tilbury. I quite generously apply this under my eyes, like so. And then I will use a beauty blender just to blend this in into the corners of my eyes, because I do have a little bit of discoloration there. Annoyingly, what I'm seeing in the mirror and what I'm seeing in the camera are two very different things. In the mirror, the colour looks perfect, it looks so natural, but in the camera, I look like a ghost. After foundation, I hate having foundation lips, so I always pop on my By Terry lip balm straight after doing my foundation. I saw something on, I think it was someone posted on Instagram stories the other day, where it said, I'm not going to be able to say this as eloquently as the post did, but it was something like, when you take a picture of a sunrise or a sunset and you don't capture its beauty in your photo, you don't think, oh, well, the sky must be ugly. You think, oh, well, my camera can't capture the beauty of what is before me. And this post was to make people not feel bad when you take a selfie, it doesn't capture your full beauty. So maybe that's what's happening now. Real life, I promise you, looks a lot better. Anyway, for bronzer at the moment, I'm using the Dior Skin Mineral Nude Bronze. This was a very kind gift from the Dior beauty team before Christmas, and it's a really nice natural shade. Bronzer is probably one of my favorite makeup, favorite parts of my makeup routine, because I just feel like I come alive when I have got bronzer on. Just changing the camera angle slightly. Maybe it's because the light outside is so white, it's washing me out. That's a little bit better. So my technique with the bronzer is I basically concentrate on the outer edge of my face, bring it down almost like a number 3. So I start up here, bring it in, and then bring it down under my jaw. And then I just lightly fill in the rest with whatever's left on my brush, just to make it kind of act as almost a little bit of a contour, shaping my face and yet keeping the middle of my face quite nice and light and bright, and again not forgetting to take it down my neck. Next is blusher, and this was sold out for so so long. You may remember every time I did my makeup last year, pretty much I was showing you this palette, and this is a palette that I actually put together myself at the By Terry counter in Selfridges. You could choose all the colours yourself. So I basically said to them, I want to copy your Amber Light blusher, because that has always been my favourite blusher of all time, just a perfect shade. And this was the blusher that I made. It was a copy of the By Terry Amber Light, because this was sold out for so long. I saw it come back in stock over Christmas and I snapped it up straight away. So this is the By Terry Amber Light blusher. If you choose to buy this now, I guarantee you this will last you all year. Honestly, this is the most long-lasting, beautiful blusher. You only need the tiniest little bit. I use a duo fiber brush. I very lightly tap around the edge and then just get a tiny bit of the middle. And the middle you can actually use a separate brush to use as a highlight. But if you use them all together, it just gives the most beautiful glow. It is the most perfect blush shade. I just think it's such a flattering, warm colour. It looks really natural, not too girly like feminine Barbie pink. I just love it so much. Obviously, I still, just because it's not Christmas anymore, doesn't mean I don't love my By Terry Candlelight CC highlight. However, for an everyday basis, and usually because I'm already holding this, what I will do is take my, this is a Sigma high cheekbone highlight brush, pop it in the middle here, and then just accentuate the tops of my cheekbones. This is a really nice natural everyday highlight. And then I'll take it under the brow bone just a teeny bit. It is a little bit pink toned, and my top lip. And then I'm not gonna lie, for an everyday eye, of course, nothing has really changed. I like to use the browns in my By Terry palette. However, I know you've seen that a million times, so what I will show you is, this is the new Hollywood palette from Charlotte Tilbury, Flawless Eye Filter Luxury Palette, and it has got the most beautiful, natural metallic tones, and I think a little touch of metallic on the eye is so impactful at just lightening the whole eye area. So I'm going to use this one in the bottom right hand side and just swipe that all over the lid. It's still a very natural brown, but with the shimmer in there, just gives it a little something special. And there's something about the way that Charlotte Tilbury colours go on, which is just so beautiful. Super duper quick and easy. I just can't be bothered to spend a long time doing my makeup. And then I'll take one of these top colours, maybe a little bit of both, on a clean brush and do that above the powder that I've just put on, below the brow, and then blend it all in. To be honest, I would normally do my brows before doing my blusher and my bronzer and my eyeshadow, but I think where I was looking so ghostly earlier, I just skipped the brows to get some colour on my face. So what I'm currently using is the IT Cosmetics Brow Power. Apparently this is a universal shade and one colour suits everyone, but I love that it's got the spoolie on one end. So what I'll do is I'll just brush up my brow hair. And by the way, I am still using my Privage from Elizabeth Arden Clinical Lash and Brow Enhancing Serum. I use this at night on my lashes and in my brows. My brows don't really grow. I have not had my brows professionally tweezered or even non-professionally tweezered. I don't touch my brows or threaded or anything in about a year. Just have pretty much stopped growing, which is very annoying. So I do have to fill in quite a lot. This really looks so natural. What I like to do is just trace along the bottom of my brows and then use very fine hair-like strokes to draw in the brow where mine are a little bit gappy. And then, of course, the Bare Minerals Strength and Length Serum Infused Brow Gel. I'm hoping that this is going to help my brows grow, but at the very least, it is a really good brow gel. This one is actually in the lighter blonde shade, which I find just softens my brows, because where my brow hair is naturally a little bit darker than the hair on my head, I do want my brows to be a little bit lighter, but I am not going to go anywhere near them with bleach. So I pop some of this through my brows, and then because it's a bit fluffier, I go back in with the spoolie on my brow pencil just to fluff them up again and distribute the serum through my brows. Lash curlers, just a quick squeeze. And then I just love the Bare Minerals Strength and Length Mascara. So just like the brow gel, this is serum infused to help nourish and hopefully grow the lashes. And it's a really, really good mascara, no harsh ingredients, really nice brush, just really separates out the lashes, coats them all in a really beautiful dark black colour, and I find it dries quite quickly as well, so you can go back in and add some volume if you would like to. Okay, so the finishing touch, if I was going out or vlogging for the day or about to go and film a video literally right now, then I would put on lip liner. In fact, I might as well. This is the Bare Minerals lip liner in the shade Borderline. My top tip with lip liner, just always make sure it is perfectly sharpened, so I'm going to do that now. And then I just draw around the outline of my lips. I find this really, really helps me because I actually don't have a particularly defined lip line. They're a little bit smudgy around the edges, so I do find that using a lip liner definitely helps. Sometimes I have to blot my lip balm away to get a little bit more impact out of this. What I will usually do at this stage is actually just pop on a little bit more lip balm, or at least a balmy lip colour, and then I'll go and apply my lipstick when I'm about to start filming or leaving the house or whatever. So a few favourite lipsticks, obviously my Bare Minerals, can't remember the name of it, Mineralist lipstick in the shade Insight is my #1 at the moment. So lovely and balmy and creamy, but a really nice intense colour. Something that is equally hydrating and lovely and comfortable, but a little bit less of a colour and more of a balm is this one from Cuticle. This is in the shade Honey Pot. Looks like this. This is the perfect thing to wear on a day like today when I just want a really comfortable lip colour. And also to mention, Charlotte Tilbury have brought out a few new hyaluronic lip balms. So this is called Happy Petal. That's the shade I've got. And I've also got Crystal Happiness. These are infused with hyaluronic acid, so they are really lovely and hydrating and a little bit plumping. So this is another of my kind of everyday lip balms in a really beautiful pinky shade. And then I actually use 2 different mists to finish off my look. I will use either the Dior Radiance Mist from the Air Flash collection, or I will use the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. They both just mean that my makeup lasts a lot longer, doesn't transfer onto masks as well. And last but not least, I'm spraying my face with the Uncomplicated SPF. This is SPF 50 from Kate Somerville, and if you have either forgotten to put an SPF earlier in your routine or your skincare just doesn't contain any SPF, then it is really important to use something like this as a finishing touch. I have to be honest, I completely forgot about this, and I was watching Susie, Hello October, one of her vlogs, and she used this. It is actually a makeup setting spray, so I probably could just ditch the one before, but I do like my Charlotte Tilbury and my Dior setting sprays. So this is a way of getting a light misting of Factor 50 all over my face. And it has the most gorgeous lavender scent to it as well. That is so lovely. And that, my darlings, is my super usually quick everyday makeup. I normally can do this in about 3 to 5 minutes. Obviously when I'm not talking through it, I'm just like, get it all done, and that's me done for the day. It doesn't really change that much, so you probably won't be seeing another makeup routine from me until spring at least, because I'm very stuck in my ways when it comes to doing my makeup. I know what I like, so that's it. That is, I'll be referring you to this video whenever anyone asks for a makeup update. I'll let you know if any of these products get changed. If I discover anything new, of course I'll let you know, but that is pretty much how I do my makeup every single day. One thing I've just realized I didn't mention, and sometimes I only do this when I see that I need it, but I do get quite shiny on my T-zone between my brows, and my makeup does tend to slide on my chin. So what I usually do, probably about an hour after I've done my makeup sometimes, is use my By Terry Hydra powder. This is the hyaluronic pressed Hydra powder, the best powder in the whole world. Don't even bother buying any other powder because this is the best. And I use this brush. So if it was in summer and I was going to be out and about, I would use the fluffy end all over. or if I was filming, because it's a really good airbrush powder. But when I want it to be a little bit more precise, I'll use the smaller end and just tap, tap, tap. Very light tap, and then just tap it on the areas where my makeup either runs away, under my eyes, or stop it creasing, and any areas that I get shiny. And then we really are done. And we're back again. So at this point I get dressed, and as you can see, I've taken out my hair turban and it started to dry in a very strange tangled mess. My hair routine never really changes. I use the Redken One United All-in-One Multi-Benefit Hair Treatment. This and the Pureology Perfect for Platinum Best for Blonde spray. This one, I'll pop it on the screen here. These are my ride or die hairsprays. I will use these for the rest of my life. They have so many benefits: heat protection, detangling, humidity protection, just so many benefits. They also, in fact, it says it's got 25 benefits on here. Conditions, nourishes, improves manageability, fills in the gaps of porous hair. That's the important one. In fact, was the Pureology one called the Miracle Filler? Yeah, that's what you need to look out for. Fills in the gaps of porous hair. That's what's really important. Reduces the feel of dryness, detangles, strengthens hair, ideal cutting lotion, primes, helps protect against breakage, etc, etc. There are literally 25 benefits of using this, and the Perfect for Platinum, I think that's the old name, Miracle Filler from Pureology, I think is pretty much the same thing. So I'll leave them both linked down below. I spray this on my hair when it is wet as a kind of leave-in conditioner. And then, especially because I haven't had my hair cut in so long, it does need a little bit of oil at the ends just for some nourishment. So this is the Redken All Soft Argan Oil. I just pop one pump. You can always add more oil, but you can't take it away. And pop that through the ends of my hair. And then I couldn't live without my wet brush. Wet brushes for me are the best for brushing and detangling without really pulling on the hair. So I'll just completely brush it through and then do a rough blow dry before starting on with the rest of my day. And now that my hair is brushed, I'm going to give it a rough blow dry. I don't feel the need to completely dry it because I just find that that makes my hair feel overall a lot more dry. You know what I mean? It makes me feel like the ends get drier if I fully dry it with a hairdryer. So I've actually gone back to using my Dyson Supersonic. I was using the Airwrap hairdryer, but I do think that this is just a little bit more powerful. So I'll get my hair to about 90% dry with this, and then I will just leave it, maybe come back and curl it a little bit later in the day, but otherwise I'll just leave it in that semi-dry state while I crack on with my to-do list. So we're about 80 or 90% dry now. It's still a little bit damp up here, but I don't really mind. But I actually cannot be productive with my hair down, so I'm just gonna very loosely scoop it into a bun. And also, sometimes I feel like this just gives it a little bit of a natural wave without me having to do anything with heat on it. And now we're ready to go downstairs and start working for the day. One super quick last minute thing before I go downstairs and start my work. I am going to be doing my nails a little bit later on today. So first of all, I'm just going to apply some of this Avoplex. It's basically a cuticle oil, really good for your cuticles and the health of your nails from OPI. So I just paint that on my cuticles and massage it in. And then this will just infuse my nails for a couple of hours before I actually paint them later on today. And just like that, darlings, it is now 4 hours later. It is coming up to 4 p.m. I'm actually gonna start early my dinner. So I thought, I know this vlog is already very, very long, so I'm just gonna very quickly give you a nice, healthy-ish but tasty food suggestion. Why not add to the subject of this vlog? And then I will end by just quickly showing you how I do my nails and what I do them with. So I'm going to be making a butternut squash and feta tart. I love a good tart at the moment. Just find them very satisfying and a great way of getting a little bit of extra colourful veg into your diet. Great because we can just have it in the fridge. Charlie can have it with some salad. I can have it with some pasta or whatever. This is going to be a Thermomix recipe, so I will show you how I do it. So the recipe actually calls for some fresh sage and thyme, so I'm coming to get it from the garden. However, don't know how fresh it's going to be when it's completely frozen. I have never known it to be like this before. It's actually stayed frosty all day. I don't think it's gone much higher than -2 degrees today. My goodness, definitely the coldest day we've had here. But anyway, I have bought my scissors, so I'm going to take a few of these sage leaves and some frozen thyme. Okay, so in a roasting tin, I am popping some butternut squash. I already had this chopped up because I used some in a pasta bake yesterday. A good drizzle of olive oil. And then I am tearing up my frozen sage leaves, sprinkling this over the top. I've got 5 or 6 leaves here. And a little sprinkle of chili flakes. A little bit of salt and pepper. I always get loads of questions about these, by the way, so I will leave them linked down below. And now I roast this for 30 minutes. While the butternut's in the oven, I'm going to do the pastry. So I'm using plain flour, spelt flour, unsalted butter, some salt, some cold water, which I'll get in a second, and my thyme leaves. I'm going to make mine in the Thermomix. Obviously you can do it with any hand mixer or however you prefer to make your pastry. Okay, so I have made my pastry. I've pressed it into my little tart tin, pricked the base with a fork, and now this is going in the oven for 10 minutes. And while that's baking, I'm going to work on the filling. So obviously we've got the butternut roasting in the oven. I'm going to use 100 grams of feta, some hazelnuts. I'm meant to use whole milk, but all I have is semi-skimmed. I'm sure it'll be fine. Olive oil, 3 eggs, 2 cloves of garlic, and 80 grams of onion, as well as some salt and pepper. So I'm going to blend that. Oh, and also some more sage leaves. I've just been out to the garden to get some more frozen sage leaves. That's all going to go in the Thermomix, and then it's ready to prepare. And here it is, my finished tart. It doesn't look quite how I expected it to. Not really too sure what I expected it to look like, but it kind of looks like a pizza, so I'm not going to complain. It's making my mouth water, so while it's still nice and warm, I'm going to serve myself a slice, and then I think we will have it with have some more with a couscous salad for our dinner later on this evening. Well, the tart was absolutely delicious, and as promised, I'm just going to finish this, what was going to be a morning routine but has ended up being pretty much a full day video, with a little bit of a beauty focus on my current at-home nail care. So these are the products that I'm going to be using. I did have a little bit of glitter on my nails before. This is my favourite nail polish remover. It's from Cuticle. It's very caring for the nails, but also a really good one, especially for removing glitter and more stubborn dark colours. So my routine, I might pop a little bit more cuticle oil on and push my cuticles back with this, I think they're called orange sticks. This is from OPI. And then I will file my nails. This is quite a good nail file from Elegant Touch. And I also received a very bougie nail set from Dior over Christmas. So I'll probably... Actually, to be honest, I'll probably pop that in my handbag. That's quite a good handbag nail file. So I will use also a buffing block. Normally I'll use this if I've had gel on my nails and they just need like smoothing. So a little buffing block is quite handy. I get most of these bits from Amazon, so I'll leave them linked down below. Then I will pop on some Nail Envy from OPI. This is just a really great strengthener. Then this base coat from Dior. You don't need Dior nail varnish, it's very bougie, but as I said, this was very kindly sent, so I'll use that. My favourite nail colour is this one from OPI. It's from their Intimate Shine collection. In this lighting it does look a little bit lilac-y, almost a little bit grey, but it is actually just the perfect baby pink, and it's just absolutely perfect for me. I'll probably pop 2 or 3 coats of that on, and then I will finish with a layer of the Infinite Shine, part 3, so maybe there should have been a part 1 for this, but never mind. This is a really good top coat. I find that I don't get chips very often, and also it just gives a really nice kind of thick shine, like a gel effect manicure. Then I'll finish with another little bit of cuticle oil once my nails are completely dry. I don't think you guys need a tutorial on how to do this, so I'm just going to set you up on one final little hyperlapse and then bid you farewell and say thank you very much for watching. I know it's been a huge long video, so please leave the word polish in your comment if you did get to the end of the video. I'm going to pop a YouTube video on in the background while I do this, or maybe even Gossip Girl. Anyway, I'm starting to ramble. Thank you for watching, darlings. Enjoy the nail varnish hyperlapse. I will show you the end result as well at the end of the hyperlapse, and I will see you very soon in my next video.
You want now? Feels like you're looking for something better. Is this what you want now? Or is it because you can't forget her? I can't keep pretending it's not getting to me.